Okay, so you can just start off by giving me your name and what class you're in.
My name is BOYD, and I was in, we called it Delta 1. It was really class 667, I think. And I got my draft notice the day I graduated from college. And I went to work. I already had a job, and I went to work, and then I decided I better go around and check and see if I could get something besides just going in and being drafted. And I ended up enlisting. Supposedly, I was supposed to go to OCS. I didn't really understand what it was, but I finished basic training and advanced training, and I thought that the worst was probably over. And now I was going to be an officer. Little did I know. I reported to here at Fort Eustis, and the next thing I knew, there was a TAC officer in my face, and I was pretty scared for a while. But I discovered that I could do it along with all the other guys that were with me. And we all did it. And then we did it again, and then we did it again, and then we did it again. And I'll be real honest, I don't remember a whole lot that happens. A lot of it that I recall is because somebody's told me about it, that we did it. But I do remember that for me, my favorite part was going to class, because I was pretty good at absorbing the information, and I got to rest. But everything went fine, and all of a sudden we were senior candidates. And I don't know that I can tell you a whole lot more about this, except that after finishing OCS, I wasn't ever particularly worried about any other assignment that I got in my life. I knew I could do it. Do you have any questions?
Well, you said that you don't recall too much of it, so I was just wondering.
I recall a lot of pain and agony. That's what I really remember, is that I was not particularly athletic. And we ran and we ran and we ran, and then we did PT. And it was really hard physically, and it was also hard mentally, because we didn't get a whole lot of sleep, and we never knew for sure when the TAC officers would come in and dump our foot lockers or whatever other kind of things that they had to make us do things. And we figured out pretty early on that one of the things that would help is cooperation. You didn't ever let anybody do something by themselves. Everybody pitched in. And that, of course, is a good lesson in military training. You don't, cooperation gets you over the hump. I remember our bivouac. We went on a truck bivouac, and it snowed. It never snows here, but we had about, 6 inches of wet snow. We camped in the snow. I remember one of my classmates, we were all told, be sure you have your boots in the tent with you. He left his boots outside, I don't know why, and in the morning they were frozen stiff, and he put them close to a fire we had, and they caught on fire. So there were a lot of things that happened that were humorous, but we learned a lot too.
So you were at Camp Bastogne, I heard is what it was called.
That's right. And again, I don't recall what I did. I know I was there. I remember we were cold and wet. We didn't really have winter gear. We had fatigues and field jackets, and we must have had a little bit more that they handed out, but I don't really remember what it was. And a pair of combat boots, and that was it. And we engaged in some kind of military exercise. There was an enemy, but I don't really remember anything about that, to be perfectly honest.
That's fine. Where did you go after you graduated?
I was ordered to Fort Knox, Kentucky, and by the way, that's where I had completed basic training in AIT, and I never left. I spent 2 years and 2 months at Fort Knox. I was never a Transportation Corps officer. My first assignment was to a wheeled vehicle mechanic school, and except that there were no students. They were closing the school. My job was to get rid of the equipment. And I had no idea how to do it, of course, but my first sergeant did, and we got her done. And then and after that I was assigned to headquarters as a basic combat training inspector. And that's what I did the rest of the time I was in the Army.
There we go.
My claim to fame is that I wrote a lesson plan that removed kill from bayonet training. They didn't think it was appropriate. So
Did you change it to
oh no, you don't want to know what I changed it to.